Hey, what's up guys, it's Greg. Recently, I just came back from a trip to Florida to visit my grandmother over Thanksgiving. As you probably saw, I did do two vlogs when I was there, one from Busch Gardens and one from the Manatee Viewing Center. So this is around the same time as that. So when I'm in Florida, I often try to do a little bit of herping, but this time I decided to take 4 of them home. So keeping wild-caught animals is a very controversial topic. However, I believe that in this case it is 100% okay because I did take home 4 brown anoles, and they are a invasive species to Florida. They are not native there. They do come from the Caribbean. So they were introduced there possibly through the pet trade or on cargo ships or something like that. And they do compete with natural species that occur there like the green anole, and they compete for habitat and food. So they are an established species there. You do tend to see more brown anoles than the native green anole in Florida. But I kind of figured, hey, bringing home 4 of them, it might not be a big help in the long run, but it's something small that might make a difference in like the local ecosystem to where it was. And I knew that bringing them back to New York, I would be able to give them a great and happy life. So I figured, hey, why not? I did set up a new tank for them. I got a 10-gallon tank. I have a live plant in there. I have some fake plants, some leaf litter, some climbing branches and sticks, and I also have a basking light for them with the UVA and UVB. They are doing really well. Right away, I fed them the day I got back from Florida. I put in, I think, 18 small crickets, and they ate all of them, even the littlest ones, and they are getting along fine. So I wanted to tell you the story how I brought them back to New York. The airline that I was flying with does not formally allow you to bring pets on the plane without paying for tickets. And I think that in that case, if you were paying for a ticket for their pet, it's only for dogs and cats. So I knew that these lizards wouldn't be allowed to go on the plane. So I had to get creative. I did understand that if for whatever reason they found out and they did not like that I was having them, that they could be confiscated and released back into the wild. But since it's already an established species in Florida, it wasn't going to be a crime. I couldn't get in trouble or arrested for it. It's not a native species, therefore it's not harming the environment what I'm doing. So what I did was I got a plastic Chinese food soup container, you know, those big plastic ones that like wonton soup or egg drop soup comes in, and I poked a lot of air holes in the top of it. I put a moist paper towel at the bottom, and I put a leaf, a magnolia leaf specifically, in there so they could just climb on something and hide under if they want to get away from each other. And plain and simple, I just took the 4 lizards, I put them inside the container. I put the container in my carry-on, which was a backpack at the time, and I put them in the overhead compartment above the, you know, seats where you sit in the airplane. It went perfectly. They made it through security, and they didn't say anything. I took them out of my bag for when they checked the bags. I didn't leave them in there. I took them out so they were in plain sight, and nobody said anything. Nobody had a problem with it. So I got them on the plane, and I hid them in my backpack above in the carry-on compartment. They are doing really well. Like I said, they are living in a 10-gallon tank, which is perfectly fine. Some people might consider a 10-gallon tank to be pretty small, but anoles are actually a really small species of lizard. They grow nowhere near as big as a leopard gecko or crested gecko would. So fitting 4 in the 10-gallon tank is completely fine. I could probably fit up to 6 comfortably, but I'm not going to go pushing it. They're only about maybe yay big, and half of that size is their tail. They are a semi-arboreal species, meaning they do climb a lot, and that's kind of how they live their life. I also in there have 1 Italian rune lizard, which is a invasive species to where I live, Long Island, New York. Now I moved in with those lizards, and they are doing great. They are getting along. And what's great about that is that lizard, it's mainly terrestrial. It likes to spend its time on the ground, and the other lizards are arboreal mostly, so they don't really interact with each other that much. Every once in a while they'll come face to face, but they don't have a problem with each other, and I do make sure I feed them a lot and enough so they won't ever try to fight for food or anything like that. So here I have the biggest one, so it was the easiest to catch. They are brown anoles, like I said before. They are a really beautiful and underrated species, especially because they are so common. Look at that dewlap right there. They have this flab of skin underneath their chin, and it's called a dewlap. This does not hurt it at all because naturally they flare it up like he was just doing. They use this for two different things. They use it for breeding responses, so to attract mates, and they also do it for territorial or self-defense reasons. So they will try to scare away other opponents and other males of the species, and they will try to compete to get a female. So these guys can make a good beginner first reptile. If you want me to make a care video on them in the future, I'd love to do that because there isn't that many YouTubers out there who have anoles as pets. So let me go show you a quick glimpse of their tank setup. So here I have their setup. It is right above my bed. So here it is, here's their setup. In my opinion, it is a really cool setup for them. I tried to make it as naturalistic as possible, but I did try to imitate what the landscape looked a little bit like in Florida where I did capture them from. So I do have a big water bowl in here that does need to be refilled. I have a live pothos plant in the middle. I have a long vine along the top where they like to bask, and I have a lot of leaf litter and sticks. So here's the one that I just took out. Sorry for the possible shakiness. Once again, I did say this is by my bed, so I am sitting on my bed while filming this, so it's gonna be a little shaky. But as you can see, they are pretty darn small compared to the tank. They make this 10-gallon tank look huge. You could also see one little guy right there, as well as a tail right there, and the little head is right there above my fingertip where is a third one. So that's it with this video, guys. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below any video suggestions or anything you'd like to see. If you want to see me do more videos of these guys, make sure to tell me because I'd love to do a care guide. You can find all my social media links in the description down below. Make sure to subscribe for new animal videos every week. Bye, guys.